It's been a few days since my last encounter with Neil at the park, and I've all but put the memories of it behind me, secretly hoping he'll just forget about it. I've been quite busy with my store. There's been a new shipment of fabric, and I'm excited at all of our color and textures I have available at my fingertips. I lay them all out on the counter, wondering what I should create with them. The bell rings and I look up at the door. I stop dead in my tracks when I see Neil again. Oh no, he's come for his watch, hasn't he? Just when I put him out of my mind, he's here to remind me again of what transpired. Neil looks around the store a little bit before his gaze settles on me. Good day, Jay. I hope you're in a better control of your balance today since the last time we've met. If I'm not, I'll be sure to step on your feet this time, I reply sarcastically. Neil clicks his tongue at me and then leans his elbows onto the counter, clasping his hands together and resting his chin on top of them. He looks over at me, studying me with his eyes. I suddenly feel a little defenseless. Let's talk about my watch. I swallowed knowing this was coming. Luckily, I'm not daft enough to forget to insure such an expensive item, especially one with sentimental value. I've contacted my insurance company and will get a full amount reimbursed. I look at him blankly. Okay, that's it? He got the money back? Well, that's definitely a load off my back. But now you're my servant for the rest of your life. That's usually how these things go. This doesn't mean you're absolved of any responsibility, Neil says in a much more serious tone. He casts his eyes down to the counter, and his fingers hover my new fabric. He seems a bit intrigued. You did still break a personal item of mine. And pray tell, what would you like me to do about that? You've already had the money refunded. There's nothing much else I can do. Unless you want to say you somehow managed to cut your finger on the broken piece of glass and want me to reimburse for that too. Neil frowns at me, then shakes his head a little, clicking his tongue dismissively at me again. I'm not sure if such a tiny piece of glass could ever pose a threat to me, but I'm glad you're concerned about my well-being. That's a step above yesterday's attitude. See, now, am I going to play the victim, or am I going to just do this cat and mouse game back and forth until someone falls in love? What does... I know they gave me a whole character thing. I already forgot about it. Jeez, you don't have to be so mean about it. You want me to praise you for destroying my watch, he says dully. Should I have complimented you instead that you somehow magically knew the exact spot to drive that 3-inch heel of yours through the center of the glass? Because consider it done, and you did a fine job at wrecking my watch. I cringe. He does a fine job at making me feel small and insignificant. Like everything I do is wrong. His words cut me like a sword. I feel like I can't compete and talk back. See, I don't want to feel like this, but I don't want to feel like the douchebag, and he is the douchebag, but I feel like I gotta be a douchebag to the douchebag, but then when I'm a douchebag, I feel bad. So it's complicated. What do you want? I finally ask him. Neil straightens his bag. Last time you mentioned that you'd make me a dress shirt, correct? Don't answer that. It seems an opportunity presented itself, and while I do have my own tailor who's delivered me some of the best work in the country, perhaps I can make use of your... He looks down to the fabric on the counter. Skills. I can feel this word sting with venom. He's mocking me, looking down on me. And what exactly do you want, I asked, ready to decline his offer. A well-tailored blazer, Neil says as he puffs out his chest to make a point. If it's adequate and to my taste, I can forgive your previous actions. I want to decline so badly. I do not much care for Neil's pompous... Oh, he's breathing. I didn't notice that. There's actual, breathing animations. Attitude, and the way he's subtly mocking my tailored skills. However, I also realized I've destroyed an expensive watch of his, and a mere sorry won't do. Plus, it seems he won't leave me alone, so I sigh and hang my head down. Alright, I say. Splendid. The sooner you finish this, the sooner you can return to, he points at a mannequin standing next to the counter, this. Neil shakes his head a little. What's this doing over here anyway? You could create a much bigger impression if... Suddenly, Neil grabs a hold of a mannequin and moves away from the counter. Hey, I yelled out. Don't just move things around in my store. Neil drops it at a place near the entrance where the sunlight hits it. See? The way the light falls from the windows of the door would make this the perfect spot to highlight your latest fashion. No one asks you to start touching and moving my mannequins around. Put it back. I look over to where Neil is and suddenly see his point. Placing the mannequin into direct sunlight gives it a bigger impression and makes the layout of the store more harmonious as well. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Neil grins at me. Are you sure you want me to put it back, he asks. I have the sudden urge to wipe that smug look off his face. I scrunch up a nose. No, leave it. Just stop touching my things. You know what? I'll return another time for the measurements. How about next Friday? It's not like I can say no, so I nod my head at him. Friday is fine, I guess. Very well. I'll see you then. Good day. Neil fixes his collar and looks at the mannequin with a nod and leaves the store. I'm never going to get rid of this guy, am I? Especially since I keep staring at him everywhere I see him. That's going to catch his attention. Let's go. Chapter 8. Today, Sarah decided to come over to take some pictures with me. I use her skills as a photographer to get the best shots of my clothing line. Then I use them to advertise my boutique by spreading flyers. It's been working pretty well, and me and Sarah are just wrapping up another photo shoot that took place in my back room. We had a model pose for the pictures, but I put on a few outfits myself as well. It was fun. I'm in love with the Synon 20D, she says, as looking through the viewfinder of a recently purchased camera. I'm sure. You've been nonstop gushing about it since you got it, I reply. I know, but you don't understand how great it is. The picture quality is amazing, and it's the most compact and lightweight camera yet in the series. I simply smile at Sarah as she goes off on all the technical details about her camera. I don't really understand much about it, but I'm grateful Sarah helps me stage photo shoots to show off my clothes. Without her, I don't know if I get any customers visiting the store at all. You know, looking at your pictures, you could simply be a model instead. You got the height for it, and a pretty face. I smile sheepishly at Sarah for the compliment. I prefer making the clothes instead of wearing it. I'm only doing this for the publicity. I know. I'm not complaining though. At least you're a friendly face. Most of my customers are vain models who think they're the hottest thing on earth. Divas in the making. They'll even try to get me to work for them for free. For exposure, they say. Sarah shakes her head in disagreement, then goes back to looking through her camera lens. There's a creep staring at us. Is it the purple-haired guy? I blink at her. Excuse me? Sarah fixes the zoom on her lens, then looking straight through the viewfinder. Yeah, purple-haired dude, right outside, looking at you. Isn't that the same guy from the cafe? She snaps a picture. I whip my head around and look over near the windows, but don't see anyone. Huh? There isn't anyone there. Are you sure you saw someone? Sarah walks up to me and shows the LCD screen of her camera. It has the last picture she took displayed on it. See? The picture quality is so great that I can see with 100% certainty that it is Neil who's standing in front of my store, shielding his eyes from the sun to get a better look. His face looks oddly weird. I'm confused why he's peeking through my window. It's not Friday yet. Isn't that the same guy from the cafe? Has he been harassing you? Asked Sarah. Want me to beat him up for you? Hell yeah! He is harassing me. Oh no. No need. I pause, I think. Sarah watches me carefully. A bumpkin like you won't even recognize the dangerous situation even if it hits you in the face. We're city folk here. It's different. Everyone's out to get you. Sarah shrugs her shoulders at me. Dangerous. We get creeps out here, just prowling around, looking for some pretty girl they can get their hands on. I frown at her and feel an odd chill run down my back. I'm sure that's not going to happen. Neil doesn't seem to be like that, I think. I only feel the sting of his words sometimes. Sarah puts her finger up in my face like a warning sign. See that naivety? We're gonna go with that. Is going to get you into some trouble someday. Just be careful, okay? If someone's bothering you, let me know. I smile at her and give her a light slap on her arm. You just want to be a hero for the pretty girl. Sarah grins at me. You know it. She tucks her camera inside of her bag. Anyways, I'll send you the pictures once I edit them. I'm sure they turned out quite awesomely. She sighs longingly. The Synon 20D, my true love. Get a room, I joke. Sarah winks at me and says goodbye. I need a drink. This is a lot of talking and reading. Once she's gone, I wonder about what she says about creeps and whatnot. Is it really that dangerous in the city? I haven't really felt uncomfortable or scared at all so far. Neil isn't dangerous, although I do question why he was outside my store just now, as he has no reason to be there. Not until Friday anyways. Maybe he is a stalker or something. I decide to head outside my store and have a look around, but I see no one. It's quite puzzling why Neil was here just a moment ago. I head back inside. I've got better things to do. Time passes by as I continue tending to my store, and eventually I place a close sign at the entrance and turn off the lights. Today was an okay day for business. I hope the pictures that Sarah took will help me out and boost my sales. I'll just need to spread out the flyers around myself once I got them printed. Oh, there's more. I was like, we haven't had a choice yet. We haven't had to make a decision. Waiting to take a well-deserved break, I head over to the cafe. The sun is setting in the background, making everything glow in a nice, calming orange. As soon as I reach the cafe, I spot someone familiar in the distance. My eyes bulge out a little bit as I realize it's Neil. No way. Is Sarah right? Is he some creep stalking me? I stop walking, almost considering to turn around and walk the other way, but then someone else enters the scene. A nurse emerges from the hospital next to the cafe, running over towards Neil, waving a clipboard at him. He turns around to address the nurse, and they seem to be heavily engaged in some kind of dispute. There's some heated words being thrown around, and I can tell Neil does not want to be there. Eventually, Neil signs something on the clipboard and quickly paces away from the nurse. Of course, that also means he's heading straight towards me.
Oh?
When he finally notices me, I see a genuine surprise on his face, but it's immediately replaced by an angry frown. Ah, great. Another incompetent person who always messes up. And I thought I was already finished with work. Neil snaps at me, taken aback by his words and sarcasm. It's not like I warranted that kind of response by simply being near him and his presence. I haven't done anything yet. Tell him off for creeping around your boutique earlier today. Ask him why is he so angry. Yeah, why are you so angry, dude? Giving him the benefit of the doubt, perhaps he was just having a bad day, I decided to ask him about the nurse. Are you angry because of something the nurse said? Neil simply gives me a loud and disgruntled huff. That's none of your business. I'm getting sick of hearing Neil say it's none of my business. Well, whatever happened, you didn't need to take it out on me. Imagine after a long day of work trying to fix someone else's mess, you come across another incompetent person who's been known to make a mess before. Of course I'm not going to be in a very jolly mood. He's acting like I'm some kind of stampeding bull in a China store, just a walking disaster waiting to happen. He just happened to witness 2 accidents caused by me. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean I'm like this all the time. We all make mistakes, I say shyly. Your mistake cost me 6,000, he grunts. You said you got reimbursement for that, I fire back. Neil's golden eyes narrowed at me, and I can see he's trying to hold himself back from showing too much emotion. He takes in a deep breath, closing his eyes entirely. and they would very much like to know who the idiot was that broke it in the first place, so they can send you the bill instead. Now, unless you'd like to pay that 6,000 bill, I'll suggest you hold your tongue and do as I say on Friday. I look down at the pavement, feeling angry but unable to speak up, as I know he's in the right, and I hate it. Instead of saying another word, I simply shoot him a dirty look. Have a nice evening, Miss Saul. Neil briskly walks away, and I left behind feeling irritated once more. What a jerk. You know, see, now I'm trying to be nice. I was being a little douchey at first. I was, entertaining the little back and forth cat chase, meow. But now I kind of feel like I need to put him in this place.